7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is AJ Capasso here with Talking with the Source. I'm here with my beautiful girlfriend, Tammy. Tammy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, very well. We have an amazing guest that's on today. We have an amazing paranormal researcher who we were on his podcast on David. Dave, how are you, my friend? Great. Thank you so much for being on. Can you hear us all right? Oh, okay. First question I wanted to ask you was if you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what you do, and a little bit about everything.
Well, I have a group called Shared Paranormal, and the premise behind the group is for everybody to get together, like-minded people that have done investigations, or maybe it's just your neighbor who's had an experience that wants to share. So everybody is welcome to share what they've been through or what they've seen. I do as many investigations as I possibly can, and I've probably got about 10 different experiences that I've had myself personally that I like to share. But yeah, that's the premise of my group, and I have several people, not always the same people that want to go on investigations, but several people that like to tag along. And I always like to go to unique places, like sometimes do just EVP and photo stuff during the day, because spirits do exist 24/7. So that's one of the things I like to do. I've caught some pretty good evidence. I'm going to actually have probably in May, late May, I'm going to have a show that just everybody wants to bring their collective evidence that they have to share. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. So tell me, what is one of the most terrifying experiences that you've ever had so far?
Well, this was back when I was in my early 20s, not too long out of high school. I was house sitting for an over-the-road trucking couple, and they had 2 kids that I was taking care of. And we were sitting there in the dark one night because the power got turned off, because unfortunately they weren't paying the bills on time. So we were playing Monopoly by candlelight. And you know how when the furnace and refrigerator and all that's turned off, you can hear every other noise in a house when you're in it. So we started hearing some strange noises, and my best friend and I heard something moving around upstairs. So we decided, oh, somebody's trying to scare us because they know our power is out, So we went upstairs, checked the windows, checked the doors, everything was locked. Didn't find anything or anybody. Went back down the stairs, and as I closed the door to the upstairs, there were 2 hard, loud knocks on the other side of my hand.
Oh wow!
Obviously, it kind of startled me a little bit.
Yeah.
And right after, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah, that would scare me too.
And pretty much right after I felt that, I felt what I can only describe as like a wall of ice passed through me, like something was walking through me. And my best friend was standing there as well, and he had the same reaction. It passed through him. And as I look back on it, I'm not going to describe it. It probably had to be some kind of spirit or entity, because, I mean, it started on one side of your body and you can feel it travel all the way through. It's something that's kind of unexplainable. But we went into the living room where the girls were sitting, and they made the comment that's like, we looked really white, like we just, seen a ghost. And I said, well, I don't know what we saw or felt, but yeah, pretty much. So we all sat down, and as we sat down, we felt it again, but all four of us felt the same thing pass through them.
Wow.
And I come to find out later that allegedly somebody had been buried in the basement of that house. I guess they found some bones in the crawl space several years later. But we decided we were going to leave. We weren't going to stick around, so we left, and we were running up the back alley, and the parents were coming down towards the house, and they're like, what's going on? Where are you guys going? And the mother had all of her duffel bags and stuff from the trip in her hand, and she looked up at the house, and she dropped everything, and she screamed like the loudest scream I've ever heard. She was completely freaked out. And as we turned around, we were looking at the house, and the upstairs window had just an apparition of a floating head.
Wow.
And
Yeah, that'd be
you could see through it. Yeah, I don't know. I won't go in that house again if it's still standing. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one.
But it was just a shared experience that all four of us, went through. It was
You guys, it was like validated by everybody there. That's
right, and even the ones that weren't there.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that was just intense because of what I felt. I think I mentioned when you guys were on the last show that I used to be a caretaker for a cemetery, and I saw all kinds of things there. I did see one apparition of a girl as I was leaving one day. Yeah, the whole door knock thing was the worst thing I've ever.
Yeah, that would freak me out too.
It was two different things that I felt. So, go ahead.
Oh, how old were you when you had your first experience?
My very first was my grandfather speaking in my ear after he passed away. I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we went and cleaned out his house, and a lot of his belongings were sitting around the guest bedroom, which I was staying at my sister's. And I was laying there, and just as I was going to sleep, he had a very distinct voice because he was nearly deaf. So his speech pattern, you've heard people that talk that are almost deaf, how they can form the words, but his tone of his voice was very distinct, and he said my name in my ear as I was going to sleep. And I didn't waste any time getting downstairs when that happened either.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You were only 8. Wow.
My sister met me at the bottom of the stairs, wanted to know what was going on. I said, I'm not sleeping down there. I'll sleep on the couch, but I'm not sleeping upstairs.
Yep, I don't blame you on that one. I tell you what, my grandfather, he passed away when I was 12 years old, and I had an experience when he passed away. And I tell you what, I wouldn't go back in that house either. So I completely understand where you're coming from. You get freaked out when you're younger like that, definitely.
As I said before, it's like if a kid tells me that he's got an imaginary friend or he's talking to somebody, I'm pretty much going to believe him because they're more susceptible to seeing that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids are more open. They're not as influenced by the world or suppressed.
Right. They don't know that it's wrong yet to see those kind of things.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, you can tell, like, there's people who grow up where it's literally like nurtured and fostered, where they, are encouraged and not looked at like, oh, you don't say things like that. And, people who have been really suppressed, like really strict, like a lot of religious families, like really strict religious families, they will frown upon it because it's, the devil. So you'll see kids who grew up where it's fostered have more ability, like more open abilities or more open minds.
My mother claimed that she had ESP of some sort. I don't know if that contributed to my sensitivity or not, but I can pretty much tell when there's been spirit activity somewhere. And I can tell when it's coming, when something is coming in my direction. So the little hairs on the back of the neck stand up, and I just get this feeling. Now, well, I've been working security for a long time, and I worked for a company that had several manufacturing buildings. And I was walking through the wood shop one day, and I kind of heard footsteps behind me. So I stopped, and after a few more steps, they stopped. So I could literally hear after I stopped, his footsteps were still going. So, when I went back through, I looked at the floor, and there were two sets of footprints in the sawdust on the floor. One were mine, and the other one was whoever was following me. So that was interesting.
Wow.
But I did stop because I could sense that somebody was there, and I did stop, and I said, "Look, I don't know who you are, but you don't belong here. This is not where you're supposed to hang out, and you might as well just go. Try to find your loved ones, you know." But I come find out that somebody had died that worked there, and he died on the property. He took off on his motorcycle and hit a telephone pole, and pretty much died instantly. And after I found out the name of this person, and I felt this presence again, I had a little more in-depth discussion with them. And after that night, I didn't hear him or sense him there anymore. So maybe I was able to get him to decide to pass on. I hope I did. But several weeks later. Say again?
Oh, I said, I hope so too. I hope you were able to get him to, some help a little bit too.
Several weeks later, I did pick up somebody else walking around, kind of following me. And I did the same thing again. But I come to find out that the wood shop, the individuals that made his memorial cross, made it in that wood shop. But I didn't know the connection till way later. So, yeah, the guys put a cross there where he had passed away, and they made it in that wood shop where I first sensed him there. So, but after the second conversation, I never heard from him again.
That is interesting.
Maybe he did cross?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
when I worked at the hospital in security, I saw all kinds of stuff like that. Like people.
I always see stuff at the hospital.
And I was in charge of releasing bodies to the funeral home too, so I had to go in the morgue quite a bit, which was not the favorite part of my job at all.
No.
But, there were 3 trays in that hospital, not nearly enough, but sometimes they actually had to stack them twice in there because the families didn't know, but they didn't have room for all the dead, so they stacked them in there. But they're always supposed to be a name tag on the drawer, and I always, at the first of my shift, I checked to make sure if we did have a fatality that there was room for somebody to go in there. So I opened the door that had nobody's name on it. It was blank. And I literally saw a mirror image of myself. It was my doppelganger, but he had tattoos everywhere. I had no tattoos. But he literally looked exactly like me. And the weird thing was it wasn't labeled. So I wouldn't have really discovered that if I hadn't been double checking. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Yeah, that is frightening. What are some of your favorite equipment that you use?
Digital recorder. I've caught more on the digital recorder than anything else. I'd
That's
love to get a
awesome.
couple REM pods and maybe the teddy bear too, but those things are expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're effective though. But yeah, I got a EVP meter or EMF meter and digital recorder I like to use. And I was going to transfer that EVP that I got. I was going to share the growling one, the low tone one that I got from the last investigation, but I didn't get it transferred yet. So I'll have it on evidence night.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, Ohio
I
State
like
Reformatory is where I got that one.
Wow.
What's your favorite piece of evidence that you've ever got?
Well, I worked for a psych hospital, and this was, again, it was in a morgue. It was in a morgue that they had torn out because it was a regular hospital, but they didn't need a morgue at the psych hospital. So I went down, and all the drawers were gone. They were putting up shelves and stuff for document storage. So I went down there and I laid my phone down on record, and for about an hour and 13 minutes, um, every few seconds, literally, I got something going on.
Wow.
I heard conversations, like small groups of conversations. Shelves were rattling and being moved. They'd get real close to my phone, and you could hear their breath against my phone. Yeah, it was literally the whole hour was full of evidence.
My goodness.
Wow.
And that was in a morgue?
Yeah, it was in a morgue, small town hospital.
Wow.
I'd love to investigate there. I still have connections. It might be a possibility, but
There
it
you
needs to be
go.
investigated. It needs to be investigated for sure.
And that was when you were doing security?
Yeah. I still am, but I'm a supervisor, so I don't have to do that much.
Right. So, like, in terms of locations, do you have, like, a bucket list location that you absolutely want to go to?
Oh, absolutely. Waverly Hills.
Nice.
See, same here.
Waverly Hills. I think
Same
that'd
here.
be.
Waverly Hills is my bucket list, so I totally understand your pain there.
It's not horribly far from where I'm at. I'm in Michigan, so it would take about 8 hours to get there, but
That's
it would be worth
awesome.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
Waverly
with
Hills.
location.
Are you guys in Arizona? Where are you guys at?
I'm in Connecticut. Well, right now we're in Massachusetts.
Okay. So you got the Eastern Seaboard. There's a lot of stuff over there to look at.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah.
is.
Penhurst is probably another one I'd like to go to.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Penhurst as well. I would. You hear a lot of stories, and they do a lot of stuff there. So you wonder if that's, like, stirring up more.
I've heard more about Poasttown Elementary than I have about Penhurst, actually. I mean, the activity there is just supposed to be unreal. I want to go back
Yeah,
to Ohio State Reformatory.
I wanted to go to Ohio State so bad. I had an
It's an
opportunity to go.
amazing
I
place.
make it work, like, time-wise. I wouldn't have been able to make it work. But I have regrets for not.
It's an amazing place. I kind of got off the beaten path, and I was on the east side of the cell block, and nobody else was around. I was the only one around, and I went through the showers, walked through the showers. It was so creepy.
Mm.
But on the west side is when we were in the showers, and I actually got that EVP I was talking about, and I got touched 3 times on the left arm. So very active there.
Yeah, as I've heard, so many people who've gone there had like crazy experiences, and I'm like, oh, I want to go.
They're actually doing a training, like a paranormal investigation school that you can be a part of. And they walk through all the different types of investigating tools and methods and all that. So that would be fun to do too.
And they're doing that at that Ohio State Reformatory?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's I'm not sure, it's like 3 days that you train, and they give you a paranormal investigator certificate and all that good stuff. So that would be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be fun for the experience. Absolutely.
Mansfield is another one that I'd like to go to.
Yes.
That's it. That's in Ohio.
And there's so many amazing places out there. Some I don't. I know that, like, for me, I definitely would love to, like, hit Alcatraz. That's a big one for me, but I know it's so incredibly difficult.
Do they even allow that there?
I've heard of other people who've gone, but it's like pretty pricey. And I'm like, I'm never gonna.
Waverly Hills is not that bad. I think you have to take a group of 10. It's $100 a piece, but that's not bad for Waverly Hills. I mean,
no,
I wouldn't want to do that in the wintertime though. It's pretty cold. There's a lot of windows gone.
Absolutely. So tell me, what's your view on what happens when we pass away? After all your work, what's your view on it?
I like to think that we could just sit down and review our life like a movie.
Yep.
And even perhaps if we're lucky enough, we can say, okay, David, now what would have happened if you would have done this instead of this?
Yeah.
And then live out that other timeline and see how that ended up.
Oh, that would be awesome. I like that.
Like if you're in limbo, you get to do that, for however long it takes for you to understand why you're here and what you were supposed to accomplish, and then move on.
I like that.
Nice to look at it.
I like to think that you could be given a choice if you want to come back to something or somebody else. You can do that too.
Yeah. Oh, that is absolutely great. So, do you have anything on the agenda coming up for yourself?
Let me think. I have 2 new shows coming up, one on the 12th and one on the 17th. The one on the 17th, I believe, is the trio sisters, Closer to the Veil, Paranormal.
Awesome.
Yeah, and pretty well. It's 3 sisters that are doing it, I believe. Ashley, Jenna, and Sam. Ashley, Jenna, and Sam are going to be on 17th. As far as investigations go, I'm trying to do one at the oldest tavern in Michigan. It was a stop on the Underground Railroad. They found a lot of artifacts upstairs left over from the late 1800s when it was built.
Wow.
And they told me the upstairs was not structurally sound, but I said, it's okay, I can investigate downstairs. If there's spirits there, they'll come down. They'll come down and make themselves known. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was built in like the 1830s, but it's technically the oldest bar in Michigan, Detroit.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, see, the house that my friends own, it's a 144-year-old house, and some of the houses on the street are connected to the Underground Railroad. And it's an old town from the 1700s, and it's just an amazing town to see all the old structures and to see all the old stories that all the neighbors know and everything. It's such a great little area.
That reminds me, I'm sure you guys have heard of Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be on an upcoming show. He's actually investigating a whole town that evacuated because it was haunted. Every building, every person left. Him and his friend are investigating, so that'll be interesting.
That's
Oh,
really
wow.
interesting. I'd like to, yeah, definitely. I definitely want to tune in for that.
He's a great guy. He's been everywhere and done everything as far as paranormal goes. All those old castles and stuff he explores.
Oh,
It's like
goodness,
built in the 1500s. You know.
that's a dream.
Yep.
That's about all I got coming up. And that definitely you guys springboarded me into the podcast universe here. So I got so many coming up now that it's going to keep me busy.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good thing to do. Keep busy.
Yeah,
You guys
keep
gonna?
networking. So,
Yeah, right. You got any investigations coming up?
right now, no, we don't have any at the moment. We're going to be talking with the Enfield House up in here in Connecticut. Our friends Jay and LP, we're going to be talking to them about setting something up for October for the Global Ghost Hunt event that's coming up. And
Nice.
we're just going to be doing some stuff like that. But other than that, we just, we go to like regular locations that are able to go into. We're able to walk into all the time. So it's a nice thing. Right now, we're just busy with working, trying to get things on point with that and with our own house and stuff. So things have been kind of busy. So.
Yeah.
So the global ghost hunt, is that like a simultaneous investigation
Yeah,
streamed all over the place?
Global Ghost Hunt. Basically, a bunch of teams from all over the globe get together, and we stream them live on 8 different locations. And basically, there's different time slots for them, and they get like a certain amount of hours to just investigate live, raw, and uncut, without editing, without any of that. And people get to watch, tune in, and see all the evidence as it happens and as it unfolds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
I can
awesome.
get
It's free to
in on that.
register, free to come in, free to get free to register, free to investigate, free to get yourself exposed and get yourself some exposure, which is cool. So we've been working really hard with it. So
And this is your project?
this is Brian Laverty's project, and I'm best friends with him. So me and him we kind of like talked it over, and we got it all together back in the day. And Brian just made it happen. And it was just awesome. So it's Brian's
Sounds awesome.
baby, and I'm helping him build it up.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I'm trying to hear back from several different places about investigations. So I'm ready to get back out there. It's been since February, I think. I've been on actual investigation, so I'm ready.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm ready for the nice weather again.
Yeah, it teases us.
Goodness, I haven't been on an investigation.
Yeah.
It's been teasing us up here. It's been like 70 degrees one day and 37 the next day. It's like,
oh, I know.
Here too.
Yep.
Just needs to decide to be springtime.
Well, hey, Dave, shout out where all our listeners can check out your podcast, so people can check out where they can see you more.
Right now, it's just on Spreaker and oh gosh, what's the other platform? You can catch it the link on my Facebook page, shared.paranormal. Or just if you need a link, just email me, shared.paranormal@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And if you're local and like to be in an investigating group, just send me an email as well.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I think that's really cool that you give other people an opportunity to like step in and work with y'all.
Well, I mean, I got to thinking, it's like, there's so many different formats out there, and it's like, what is the main thing people want to do that when they've experienced the paranormal, that they want to share it with somebody?
Yeah.
So give them time to, whether you believe what happened or not, if they believe what happened, so give them time to express what they feel happened to them, what they experienced. So that's what I decided to do.
We can all learn from each other too, like we can all learn from each other's experiences, and there's so many different investigating styles.
Oh, yeah.
And if we ever feel like we know it all, then, well, we definitely don't.
Most likely we'd be a spirit. If we thought we knew it all, we'd be dead.
For
Never
sure.
stop learning.
Yeah.
Never stop learning.
Amen to that.
Guys, appreciate the time.
No, we appreciate you, and we thank you so much for coming on. One more time, please shout out your all your podcasts and all your information so people can come and check you out. And we'll definitely have you back on, and we'll have some more evidence to show and stuff like that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, I like you guys. I don't know if you guys have anything to compile, but I'd like you to be on the evidence sharing show. I know you said you had some stuff you could maybe share.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So just make some copies of it so you can play it on the fly, and we'll have that episode coming up. Facebook page, shared.paranormal at gmail.com is the email address. Just comment on the page or send me an email, and I'll send you a copy of my podcast to get you on the mailing list. And like I said, if you're relatively local, or if you're not and you like to travel and you want to be in a group, my group has some spots, so you're welcome.
Cool. Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate you, my friend. Much love.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Happy hunting.
Thanks. You too. Take care, brother.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, babe, we had an awesome time today. I love Dave. Dave's an awesome man, and his podcast is absolutely awesome. So if you guys can go check out Dave's podcast, we were on it for the first episode, and it was just a fun time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love that it was just kind of on the fly, no script, just talking.
Yeah, definitely. So we just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of Talking with the Source. We will be updating who is coming up next for next week soon, so stick around and you will find out. But thank you guys so much. So until next time, I'm AJ Capasso, and this is my beautiful girlfriend, Tammy. Thank you, guys.
Now, this is the area where apparently you can hear the whistling of Art, or Arthur, the man that died of a heart attack, constructing this part of the lift locks.
Lit up, let's went back. We actually went right down there. It's just trees. Biggest animal we're gonna get in here is a badger or deer, potentially. Yeah. But if it was a deer, we'd be seeing it.
Did you live here?